Well, people, here it is. I've got it. Superman Earth 1. I've read it, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. Okay, J. Michael Straczynski and Shane Davis. It was alright. I'm not too keen on, like, the way that Clark looks. He's all emo and stuff, and the story was actually quite good. This new take on Superman, you know, bringing him to the 21st century and reimagining him for the new generation, for the youth, for the how should I put it, the Twilight generation. Ugh, dearie me. I say that, but I have seen the Twilight movies, but you know, that's by the by. You know, they've given him a completely whole new look, new suit. The new suit doesn't look that bad. Could be better, but yeah, it's all right. It's. I wouldn't say it's very emotional, but he, you know, he's so emo in this. It's unbelievable. I mean, he's like this. You know, he's wearing a hoodie for heaven's sake. Although when I first heard about this, I was super pumped. I was absolutely super pumped about it, and I think it was more just the front cover that did it for me than anything. I was like, whoa, check that out, you know. But I thought that was just some sort of teaser. You know, I wasn't expecting for the comic to actually contain him physically wearing a hoodie pretty much throughout most of the book, and his eyes are constantly, you know, being all red and stuff. But overall, I thought it was all right. I can only guess that the reason why he's all so downtrodden with himself and guilty is probably because of the death of his dad, Jonathan Kent, because Jonathan isn't alive, but we do get flashbacks. Okay, we do get to see flashbacks and of, you know, some of the things that Jonathan and Martha have told Clark as they raised him as their own, you know, and I think that's probably what it is. Maybe it's because he's missed his dad so much, is why he leaves to go to Metropolis, not sure what he's going to do, you know, whether or not he's going to, play sports, do science, work in finance or media. You know, he even actually does go to the Daily Planet, tries to see if he can get a job there. He meets Lois, he meets Jimmy, he meets Perry. He doesn't fill out the application form, so he's still pondering with his life what he wants to do. An alien invasion, or you know, descends on Earth, forces him to come out. He still hasn't put the suit on just yet, but it forces him to come out, to reveal himself to the world. But before all that, he's questioning his, you know, himself as a hero. The suit in particular, you know, there's a bit where he's talking to Martha, and he's not too sure about the costume. He's not sure about the colour. He's not sure about the S symbol. You know, he's just not sure about the whole thing altogether. You know, and when Martha is talking to him, and you know, it's like this one bit here where, as I mentioned, the colours. You know, he's turning around saying, like, isn't it a bit too, I don't know, colourful? Martha said that she tried her absolute best to change the colour, but it just wouldn't do it. The suit would not change. But she then said, you know, in the long run, that could be a good thing. Then he turns around and says, well, wouldn't it be easier if I wore a mask? Literally, right there, Martha just refuses flatly that no. Because, I mean, yeah, it could help. It would be easy, but you can't wear a mask. And he's thinking, well, why not? You know, and it's like, when people see what you can do, when they see how powerful you are, they're going to be terrified. A mask would not only add to that. No, I mean, a mask would only add to that, rather, sorry. They'll need to see your face so they can see that there's no evil in it, to see the gentleness and decency in you, and know that they have nothing to fear. But this is where it gets really good. She says, the mask is what you'll have to wear the rest of the time. And that, for me, pretty much symbolises the character. Because there's Martha telling him that you're going to be somebody of great power. Okay? You're going to be a symbol to humanity, you have to show your face. They've got to see your face. They've got to see who this person is that they've entrusted their lives with to save them. Either on a day-to-day basis or whatever, or however often he wants to save them. But he can't wear a mask because that would just make the people more scared. They'll probably think, well, we can't trust him because he's not showing his face. It works for Batman because, well, Batman's a vigilante, but not for Superman because, his brightly coloured suit, his S symbol, he is seen as a symbol for peace, hope, all that sort of stuff. So, it gets to the point of where the mask that he has to wear for the rest of the time refers to his secret identity. At this point, he doesn't know that when he's talking to Martha. He has no idea about that, and as I say, he talks about the S symbol, and Martha and Jonathan had a bit of a disagreement about that. Martha puts it down to the fact that she wanted some sort of symbol for him and figured that S would be right because he is a son of whatever world sent him to Earth, and because that he's also a son of Earth and her son as well. Jonathan finds it all a bit too vague, too fussy, too cute, whatever you want to call it. But he goes on to then say how Clark would be seen as an extraordinary person in the world, that he's not just, he's not just a man, he's very different, he's a unique man, he's very powerful, he would be seen as a Superman. So the person in this book who actually gives him the word Superman is Jonathan Kent. And I like that bit. I thought to myself, as I read that, I thought, wow, Jonathan Kent gives him the name Superman. Whereas in the movies, it was Lois that gave him the name Superman. I'm thinking, here we have this new version, and it's Jonathan who gives him the name Superman. And I actually quite like that, but I thought it was touching. Absolutely touching. I mean, as I say, Jonathan is not around anymore, but to have him call his son Superman, because he even mentions it towards the end, Clark, when he goes back to the Daily Planet, telling them that he's had an interview with Superman, he tells them that that's his name. He tells Lois, Jimmy and Perry that is his name. And speaking of walking back into the Daily Planet, check this out for transformation. How gay. Yeah. Oh, Shane Davis, what were you thinking? But it was the alien invasion, the threat to humanity was what brought him out, was what made him come out to show himself to the world, to reveal himself as a saviour. Because this guy here, this is where they've sort of changed the story for the destruction of Krypton as well. He's actually from a planet that is next door to Krypton. It was something like, what was it? Every 20 years, the planets would be at war, because that was when, after every 20 years during an orbit, that was when they were closer together to each other. So they were always at war with each other. And then one day, someone arrived with a proposition. We have no idea who it is. There's a dark figure there. No idea who this person is. Basically telling these people of this other planet, so these are the inhabitants, that's what they look like, as you can see, there's faces there, a means to destroy Krypton without being seen, as it were. And they succeeded. So that's how Krypton was destroyed. So we know how other versions have done it. It was either too close to the orbit, to the sun. The core of the planet was unstable. General Zod had something to do with it. Whatever. All different versions. So this one has a neighbouring planet that was at war with Krypton, all that sort of stuff. So that kind of works. I can imagine that it would work. One thing I will say, though, overall, that if this was to be done, if they were to redo the Superman mythology on TV kind of thing, this could work as a pilot. And it's not just me that says that, it's Craig Byrne of Krypton Site also mentioned that. I could probably see this working on TV, maybe not on a big screen, but as a TV movie. Maybe give it about 4 or 5 years after Smallville is finished. If they do a TV movie of this, I would definitely watch it. I'm not saying I wouldn't, I would. And maybe it will make me change my mind a bit as to how I really feel about it. There's no Lex Luthor, there's no Brainiac, There's no Bizarro. There's no other known villains that we are so familiar with. As I say, this one particular character that is hell bent on destroying Superman is the only evil that he's faced so far. You know, so. But after that, even though he saved the public, they're still unsure as to whether or not that him coming out was a case of, has he been hiding all this time, and was this an elaborate setup? Is he the start of an invasion? So all the doubts that we've all seen in Smallville and in the comics and everything are in this as well. Whether or not the public trust him, you know, whether they believe he's a true savior, whether he's the start of an invasion. We've got the General Sandra Lee, who is featured quite a bit in this regarding his ship. She just turns around and says no comment. But there is one thing I have to show you in this. There's one thing I've really got to show you that you have got to see. If you've seen the second episode of Smallville Season 10, titled S.H.I.E.L.D., read that. I'm sure he's a nice young man, but I was there in 1939, the last time someone went around saying he represented the Ubermensch, the Superman, and it didn't go so well for the world. So forgive me if the name makes me a little nervous. That, I think that just that alone got me sort of, I was like, Jesus, we've got the word Ubermensch in there. I think there's a hint of Smallville. There are hints of Smallville dotted about, but that one was probably the biggest one. Okay, and I thought it was a fitting moment as far as I'm concerned. There's even a little nod to the front cover for Action Comics #1. I've got to get it quickly for you. I've got to show you it because it is quite interesting how it's done. Where are you? There we are. Right there. Oh, sorry, there. Not exactly the same, but the vehicle is green. Okay, so it's got the subtle hints in there. As I say, overall 3.5 out of 5. It's not bad, but it's not exactly spectacular. You know, let me know what you thought of it. You know, let me know what you thought of it, and we'll see how it goes. I might give it another read another time. We'll see. But right now, I'm still maybe not, but we'll see. So, thank you all for watching.